I would bet that a solid 50-60% of your day-to-day tasks can be perfectly automated with these automation tactics, leaving you with a way more time to develop new creative strategies, improve landing pages, just overall work on your business, not in your business. First of all, you have pre-built automation tactics and you have custom automation tactics that you can custom tailor to your business. The pre-built automation tactics are on the top right here or also on the bottom right here, whereas these are more adjustable. And then you have the sandbox solution, create your own automation where you can build whatever you want. First of all, I want you to pay attention to the color pattern because that helps you understand on what level the automation tactic applies. You have the dark blue, which stands for your campaign level, light blue, which stands for the ad set level, and then the pink, which stands for the ad level. Now, there are a couple of principles that I would recommend for you to follow. The goal of today's call or today's video is to really make sure that you leave with your first automation active and running in your ad account. Now, for that, it's very important to keep in mind, number one, KISS. Keep it super simple. Way too many people come in, get super excited with all the automations they see, and they end up over-engineering their account. They end up building way too many automations. What I would like to focus on today are the core automations, the first one or two automations that I believe are mandatory or at least super useful for all of you out there. And then obviously on a call or on the chat, you can then talk about more tailored, more advanced automations. Now, what is the first automation that I would really recommend and would love to build with you together today? That is a sort of sunsetting automation. Every 2, 3, 4 days, you're diving into your ad account, you take a look at the ads and ad sets, and the ones that spend too much money without driving any results, without turning to profit, you want to shut them off, right? To keep your account lean and clean, and that can be perfectly automated. So let's build this automation tactic together to really show you the ins and outs of this functionality. You go inside, create your own automation. You choose the level you want to apply this automation tactic on. For the sake of this demo, we're going to go for the ad set level. You can then build the exact same automation also on an ad level to keep that also lean and clean. The action that we want to go for in this case is pause ad sets, right? You also have all the other actions. So you can automate scaling, downscaling, pausing, starting. You can automate everything you can come up with. For now, we want to pause. When do we want to pause? When the triggers we're about to select all become true, please perform this action. Right? Now, when it comes to selecting my triggers, I like to take a look at, okay, what am I doing as a human in my ad account anyways? Because that's already proven. I'm already doing that, right? So I can automate this, automate myself. It's a very safe bet, basically. The way I go about downscaling my ad sets is that I first of all take a look at the actual KPI that I care about. If I'm in the e-commerce space, it's typically ROAS, return on ad spend, or cost per purchase. If I'm in the lead gen space, it's typically cost per lead. So in this case, I'm going to go for ROAS, the actual profitability. You can then easily adjust it for your case. And what I'm doing is I'm checking this key KPI for multiple time windows, right? So typically what I would do is I would check my ad sets for the past 3 days. If it's unprofitable, that's already a sign of concern, right? Then I would check the last 7 days because every ad set can have a bad couple of days. It happens sometimes, right? And if that's also bad, I'm super concerned and I want to pause it unless exactly today it brought in that massive sale or that high amount of leads, then I might be fine with postponing the pausing of that ad set because maybe it just now has the sign of reversal, right? So I go in and I check the ROAS performances. Now, let's say the break even for me is 2, right? So if I'm generating a 2 ROAS, I start making money on my ad sets. So what I would do here, I would go for something like this. So for the last 3 days, if they're terrible, super unprofitable, 1.5 ROAS or lower than that, I want to pause the ad set. If the ROAS also for the last 7 days is not profitable, and today shows no strong sign of reversal. If today the ROAS is 2, that's great, but it's again just break even. To really postpone the pausing, despite the last 3 and 7 days being bad, I want to have a phenomenal ROAS, right? Now, that all sounds very good, but Chris, what if I launched the ad set yesterday or 2 days ago? Then I don't want to shut it off, right? I want to give Facebook some time to build up momentum. And that's very true. So we have here the last 2 criterias. First one being hours since creation. Here, everyone has their own philosophies. I typically like to go for 90, 96, 120 hours. So I give them that to really build up the momentum. But I also want to make sure they spend enough money, right? So I go here, spend last 7 days is larger than. Typically, what I like to go for is a multiplier of my cost per purchase. So if I have a cost per purchase of, let's say, £20, if I have an ad set that spent 1.5 times that, so £30, should have brought a sale by now, right? And that's it. If voila. So I have an automation that if I'm building a new ad set for the first 120 hours, it's not doing anything. It lets it also spend the £30. So now I'll make sure, yes, the ad set had enough time and enough money spent. And then I'm starting to start to check the actual profitability. And if the ad set is unprofitable, super unprofitable for the last 3 days, not profitable for the last 7 days, and today shows no strong sign of reversal, I want to pause the ad set. And with that, 24/7, 365, I have an automation that keeps my account clean and lean. I click on next, and then I can choose where I want to apply this. So by default, we would apply this now to any ad set that is in the acquisition funnel stage or it has an acquisition campaign. You can also go here, manual selection, and apply to your entire account. You can see here this A above the check mark. That means whenever you build a new campaign or ad set, the automation will automatically apply itself to it. Personally, since I'm not on a call with you, I would recommend to first just test the automation on one campaign, see how it behaves, see how the automation tactic behaves in your account. And once you know, yes, it's doing a good job, I'm happy with it, you can roll it out for the entire account. So we're good to go. We can click on next and launch this automation, which will automatically pause and downscale overspending ad sets and ads. Another automation to quickly top it off that I would recommend diving into is the stop loss automation. We all know it that you have good days, then you have bad days, then you have good days again. There's constant up and down in performances on a campaign, ad set, and all the way down to the ad level. Now, what media buyers and account managers started to do, if there is an ad or an ad set that shows very negative momentum, we end up pausing that ad set to not burn all the profits we made on a previous day. And then at midnight, we'll turn it back on. New day, new chance, right? So an automation that I love to run is the stop loss on an ad level. And what I like to do here is I choose a KPI that is higher up in the funnel, because then the spend is going to be lower when I can start judging it. It's going to make sense in just a second here. So I would go for outbound clicks, for example. If you're in the lead generation space and you generate leads with a leads form, I would go for clicks because you just don't have any outbound clicks that lead onto any sort of landing page, right? So I go for outbound clicks in this example. And what we're doing here is if we have an ad that spent 3.5 times the average cost per outbound click of my account, which in this case is £3.5, and it did not generate a single outbound click, we want to pause the ad. The logic behind that is that on average, an ad has to spend a pound to generate a click. If it now spent 3.5 times that and did not generate a single outbound click, it seriously lacks in performances. It seriously lacks in momentum. So we don't want to run it. We want to pause it for that day. And then at midnight, we're going to turn it back on again. So I click on next. I choose again where I want to apply this. Again, I would recommend applying it first on one campaign, and you're good to go. You're stop lossing on an ad level. Now, one last automation, and then we're done, I promise, is the revive automation, again, also on an ad level. Sometimes it happens that in hindsight, an ad set turned out to become profitable or an ad turned out to become profitable. Because sometimes someone views the ad in the morning, goes off to work, and then at lunch break, they actually buy the product. And now in the middle of the day, the stop loss automation paused the ad. But now in hindsight, it's actually profitable, right? So that's when Revive comes in. It's an edge case, doesn't happen so many times, but it's really important to have it just in case, right? So I go here. Here I actually care about the purchase because I really just want to turn an ad set back on or an ad if it's actually profitable, right? And then I would go for the break even and a little bit higher than that. So if I'm break even at 1.5, I'll probably go for 1.6, 1.7 to really make sure we turn it back on if it's really deeply in the profit, and we're good to go. Click on next, choose again the campaign where we also applied the stop loss automation, and we are done. Next, and we have the first fundamental automation set up in our account. Now, obviously, there's so much more to discover on this tool. I would say this is probably one of the most complex, but also one of the most useful tools. First of all, study the training materials. You have these question mark icons right here with articles, click tutorials, and YouTube videos that explain to you in more detail how to use this tool. Furthermore, you can enter our wiki, and there you find wiki.madgicx.com. There you find tons of training materials correlated or related to the automation topic. Also, you have the live chat support, and obviously, if you haven't already, take us up on the offer to join us on a call, and they will really come up with a tailored automation strategy that's right for your account. But with those 3 automations, you have a good solid start, and you can get to know the world of automation. Enjoy.